Christopher Bradley Green was born on January 24th, 2000, in Clay County, Florida, on National Peanut Butter Day. Ruled by Uranus and Saturn, he's an Aquarius. Yesterday, he turned 25, so today we share 25 facts about Christopher Bradley Green.
He came into our lives in 2013 at Austin Road Middle School, the home of the Jaguars.
We remember how Chris thought it was like a prison, but luckily, we were able to serve our time together.
In 2014, we moved to our new destination, Woodland High School.
Chris and I met my freshman year of high school at a lacrosse game. Given our mutual lack of knowledge for the sport, we took it upon ourselves to create an entire list of new terms for everything that we saw on the field. The list exists now as a testament to our budding friendship, and it all started over the sport that we dubbed lactose.
Chris is one of my closest friends, but there was a time when he was not but a specter appearing in my friends' stories. The more he came up, the more I found myself thinking, I want to give that guy a high five. One day we made it happen, and the rest is history.
Chick-fil-A, my first job, and as it turns out, Chris's first job too. A time full of laughter, late night rides home, and avoiding tornadoes. This is where our friendship truly began blossoming. There were many great memories made during this season of our life. I can say it was truly my pleasure to work with Chris.
I met Chris when we were outside of Woodland High School and I was waiting to go home. And I also met him at Unleash, where I gave him my wrong phone number accidentally. I thought he didn't want to talk to me, but I made him a few peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and recommended happier songs. And then I guess it worked, because then he wanted to be my partner.
I just wanted to come and tell you about my first impression of you. You were always such a kind and gentle soul, even in high school when nobody knew what anything was and who they were. You were always so nice and so kind and so funny. Every single time I hung out with you guys at lunch my freshman year, we always were giggling, laughing, having a ball. I just remember always feeling safe around you with my humor, and if I made fun of myself or my jokes didn't land, I never felt like the need to camouflage or be a chameleon per se in like friend groups and stuff. Ever since like I've truly started to hang out with you and get to know you, you've always been like the person I could go to for things. You are so fucking cool, and I think people need to tell you that more often because I fucking love you. But I'm so grateful to have you in my life. Love you, Chris. Oh, and they don't want me to tell you, but you're the reason I'm in choir. You're the reason I'm...
In 2018, we finally graduated Woodland High School. 18. We were truly a class with too much sauce, thanks to Chris, who designed the shirts and the motto for our senior class. We will always be thankful to Chris for making everyone's senior year the best ever. In the same year, we made it to college at Georgia State University. Chris excelled as a Panther and did it the state way every day.
Like Shannon, I also had the great pleasure of being co-workers with Chris. For about a year, we had the same job title at the same company, Apple, and worked many of the same shifts. But somehow in all that time, we never worked on a single task together. Press 9.
Chris is a gifted and talented author. His most renowned piece of work was The Promise, which I will now read an excerpt from. Suddenly a scream sounded from the main room. "Where is Sarah? Where is my baby?" Suddenly the sound of gunfire burst through the air, followed by screams. Marie and John hurried out to see what was going on. Henry was standing in front of the open factory doors with a gun pointed at Sarah's head. Tears streamed down her face, and the face of her mother Jenny's as well. Why are we still here? Screamed Henry. There's no point to living in this world. We should all just end it. I know I will, and I suggest you do the same. Henry kicked a box full of guns and magazines forward. His voice dropped to a whisper. But if you don't, I'll do it for you.
Powerful stuff. Not only was Chris a prolific writer, he was also a master of the arts, who understood the importance of representing family in his works. I'll show you my favorite piece right here.
For over 4 years, we've been living within a 10-mile radius of Chris. We followed him to Avenue 33 at the apartments, and then we followed him to Progress Residential too. We just can't stay away from him, and we don't know if we ever will.
Alright, so I'm gonna be sharing the first time I ever met Chris and how I knew Chris was a certified chill guy, okay? So the first time I met Chris was back at the old apartment down on that Mount Zion Road, and we were coming over to like watch a movie and hang out, and Chris just happened to be there, and we were having some drinks, having some cocktails, hanging out, having a good time, and then it was the end of the night, so we were like all like, let's watch a movie, let's hang out. And we're watching this movie, and I noticed Chris is like slumped on the couch, chilling, and I'm like, okay. And next thing you know, I hear some sounds, and I was like, what? And I turn and I look down, and Lear is like full on pissing on Chris, like from like the knee down, like legs covered in pee. And Chris just looked over and was like, I'm covered in pee. And I was like, oh. And that's where Chris became a certified chill guy in my mind. And ever since then, no Lear pee accidents have happened, but I'll hold that memory dear in my heart. And thank you for listening to my story. Thank you.
Chris had the pleasure and accompanied me during my son's adoption. He became Lear's godpappy that day. He has forgiven Lear for many of his wrongdoings, such as when Lear pissed on his feet. We are so thankful for Chris and helping Lear mature into a better man. He is the best godpappy a dog could ask for.
Chris is the father of a beautiful and majestic house cat named Suki. As you can see, she loves him very much.
What's up? Oh, yeah, I've met Chris before.
You might not know this about Chris, but he's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to video games. From Outer Wilds to Bloodborne Bob, he's played it all. He also maintains an extensive physical video game collection, the likes of which have never been seen before. Some video game historians theorize that Christopher Green might even be the gamer, only heard of in legend.
Which way do I face? This way? Okay. Christopher Green. He likes to be modest about it, but he's a warrior. Every day, he's fighting for his life on the front lines, putting out all of this cyber digital warfare. Home Depot's emails have never been safer. But I tell you what, I'ma get him.
Another thing about Chris is his taste in music and how much he fucking knows. It's impressive and crazy, but we love you for it.
Chris is a fan of many things. Here are some of his favorites.
Lion King.
Green and brown.
Romy!
Sunflowers!
Lion King.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Lion King.
Lava cake.
Alright. birthday, Chris. Much love to you per usual. Let's see what my word is. 1 second. I'm gonna be talking about basketball. So today, we're gonna be talking about my first impressions of Chris through the lens of basketball. But don't worry, for those of you who are not familiar with the sport, I have something that will help, and that's called a whiteboard. So, looking at the whiteboard and ignoring this drawing because it was last minute and I can't draw.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
You have 3 archetypes of players in basketball, give or take. You got your scorers, the people whose job it is to put the ball into the basket. Think Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams, people who are designated to score. Then you have your defenders, people who are going to lock up the opposing player. Think Luke Dort, Andre Iguodala, Tony Allen. These types of players are people who are going to make the other people's nights a living hell. And then you got your playmakers. Your playmakers are designed to set people up on the other team. Think Steve Nash, Rajon Rondo, those types of players. So how does this all tie into Chris? Well, I'm glad you asked. You need every single one of these players because they all play an integral part on the team. However, a player who can do not 1, not 2, but all 3 is going to be a star. And that's where Chris comes in. Chris doesn't just score, defend, or play make, but he does it all, whether that's having good conversation, having good takes about things like basketball, movies, media, etc., being a genuinely good person with a good heart, and just being a joy to be around. He has all of these qualities, and that makes him the MVP. Happy birthday, my boy. Love you. And let's play basketball soon.
Lion King.
Jaeger.
Alphonse.
Lion King.
Summer of 2024, us 3 got together and created a mischief of rats.
We grind together
Make gains together.
and hold each other up.
We unite as the gym rats. 5 days a week.
While running in 5Ks when we can. Chris is one committed rodent to the gym.
Honestly, I was glad that I was brought in here because I have something I need to get off my chest. Don't tell anyone, but honestly, I think Chris is a real jerk. Yeah, he's generous, empathetic, reliable, and kind. Yeah. But honestly, he's also like stupid. He's also stupid. He is a super, totally, unbelievably pretty, incredible dude. Yeah, I just thought I should make it known.
I have to be quiet. I don't know who might be listening. I have to tell you Chris's deepest, darkest secret. Christopher Bradley Green has thrown up from drinking alcohol at least twice. He'll deny it again and again, but it's true. No matter how hard he fights it, we have to spread the truth. Don't let them silence you, okay? You have to go. You have to, oh God, they found me, I'm caught.
Chris is an active member of our community, especially in our public school system. He loves helping the future of the world and local teachers in his city.
I'm a teacher at Stockbridge Elementary, and Mr. Green has donated supplies to my classroom while volunteering his personal time to help me set up my classroom.
I am a teacher at Smith Barnes Elementary, and I have had the pleasure of having Mr. Green read to my children, assist at field days, set up classrooms, and donate supplies to our students.
We are forever grateful to Mr. Green
and his dedication to helping our public school system.
I will now be pulling 1 card to determine how you should live your life until your next birthday. The cards have spoken. They have shown me this used battery packaging, but upon further inspection we can see the following warning. Keep out of reach of children. Swallowing may lead to serious injury or death. I think this means you cannot swallow until your next birthday.
Ultimately, Chris is just a silly guy.
Oh, y'all killing it.
Chris is just a silly guy.
Is this a video right now? I'm trying to get out. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the hot tub. Please call 470-885-4292. That's my phone.
Chris is just a silly guy.
The language we use here.
She called you what?
She called me a bitch, and that's not any kind of profanity. When we get home, you're getting the baking soda in the mouth.
Oh.
Chris is a silly guy.
Well, we're getting pizza for Yes, it is.
Sweater vest.
Chris is just a silly guy.
I missed you by spelling.
Chris is just a silly guy.
When it got to the stand, it saw the man. He said, "Have you got any grapes?"
On the page trickles to the table of contents. Why must it end this way? That's what it sounds like.
Keep going.
I don't know. Okay, ready? I got it. The four corners of this house cannot stand by the stars above the land. You take the ink and you try to cross it across my paper, but I won't erase what can't be erased. The hills have eyes, but they cannot see the other countryside. My view is pessimistic, and I won't do it anymore.
Wow. Chris is a silly guy.
I'm gonna do it. 'Cause I'm gonna do it.